Thank you. This bill is simple. It protects the identity of people who have not gone through the due process yet, and putting their mugshots out there before the time is right. And so, and also in the cases of mental health, it's very clear that they just hold that mugshot and don't put it forward, because it's not good to kick people when they're down. And in my world, we want to take care of those people that have a mental health hold, especially, and also the main argument is the fact that they haven't gone through the due process. Know that in some cases, in talking with sheriffs and various partners on the ground, they may end up having to take this narrow approach that we've put here and take it further and not release the misdemeanor mugshots at all. And that's okay with me. This bill specifically is very narrow in focus, and focuses on those individuals that have mental health holds within 24 hours. And it doesn't hinder any of the other parts that are important, if it includes public safety and finding a suspect, that kind of thing. So it's real important to note that. I'll, if you would, I'd give the remainder of my time over to the good lady from District 18.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and to my good colleague, I asked him to lead this off because I don't stand here easily. I certainly with some reservations, as this next story is going to be incredibly hard, but incredibly important. I stand before you with a heavy heart to highlight the practice that is all too common, has consequences. I'm here a little bit more vulnerable, because the story I'm going to tell you will give you a glimpse into the struggles that we face, our community face, trying to help somebody when there are no other resources left. I consider one of the most precious gifts the gifts of friendship. And I had that for 20 years. Until 2019, when I slowly watched it slip away. It was the summer of 2019, and one afternoon I noticed my friend was not acting quite right. That June afternoon would be the start of grueling 3 months, where family and friends would spend every moment contacting every imaginable resource for help. Weeks following that June afternoon, I'd received several phone calls, one after another, from employees, acquaintances, friends. Day in and day out, they kept getting more concerned about my friend's erratic behavior. And every turn, she outsmarted us. On several occasions, I had to stand on her lawn and make the decision, do I call law enforcement for help? And on one hand, to get her the help she so deserves, or on the other hand, ruin her career. I am not the only Idahoan who's had to do that, who has had to stand there to make that tough decision. Do you get them the help they need, or do you ruin their life? We called the mobile crisis unit in law enforcement 11 times. And at each moment, they kept telling us until she hurts herself or others, there's nothing we can do. And that's a high threshold, and respectfully so. But it's because of that threshold that we have to use the judicial system to get people the help that they so desperately need. And every day we resolved to the notion that an arrest was only going to be the means in which she gets the help. And that's exactly what happened. August 9th, 2019, Jessica Harrison was arrested for disturbing the peace and trespassing. Arrested in Idaho City, she'd subsequently be booked into the Ada County Jail. And then she transferred to a facility for the help that we desperately were trying to get her. 6 media outlets took her mugshot and plastered it all over the news. Because the executive director of the Association of Cities is incredibly influential in this body. Her mugshot was sensationalized for entertainment purposes. A week later, my friend would be released. A month or so later, my friend would lose her job. And shortly thereafter, I'd received this text. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to start my life over. My friend never got that chance. November 19th, my friend took her life by suicide. Approximately 10 days after all the charges were dropped, as my friend was never convicted. But Jess was convicted by public opinion. Her mugshot became entertainment. The news hardly picked up the fact that her charges were dropped and she was never convicted. Her image of her worst day was captured in perpetuity. And still to this day, if you Google my best friend, one of the only images that shows up is her mugshot. While I recognize this is not an easy ask I'm putting forward, and I don't bring this lightly, and for 2 years I have sat on this, but there's a moment where we have to look to our system for these individuals the due process they deserve. Instead of convicting them via mugshot, we need to give them the dignity to get the help they so very much need. When our judicial system's the only means in which to do it, then we need to change our processes. We need to give them resources, and I'm asking of you today, please consider your vote.
Is there further debate? Now from 12.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to debate in favor of the bill.
You have the floor.
Thank you. Long ago, when I was a young man, I was a prosecuting attorney in this county, and part of my job was to take care of the mental holds, people who were arrested and then sent to a mental health facility. This bill is narrowly tailored, and that's why I like it. This is not people who are having a depressing day or a sad time. These are people with real mental illness. They are not themselves when they get committed to a hold. This is a good bill. I ask for your green light.
Is there further debate? Hearing none, then the debate is closed. The question before us is, shall House Bill number 620 pass the House? The clerk will unlock the machine and the members will record their votes. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change his vote? The clerk will lock the machine and record the vote. Vote count shows 69 in favor with 1 absent. House Bill number 620 has passed the House and will be transmitted to the Senate. Gentleman from 14.